Welcome to Constant Breaker. He's Kai, I'm Kelz. Of course, we're joined by Strangely Entertaining and Bow Before Zog. This week, we're taking a look at Komi Can't Communicate Season 2. First off, gentlemen, how are you?
I am doing okay.
All right.
Yeah, time change sucks, but, other than that.
I got an
Zog,
extra hour of sleep out of it, so I'm happy.
I totally didn't. I missed out on that one.
Zog, I was going to be so mad if you fucking Charlie Brown adults this entire episode. Thank you for vocalizing real words.
Thank you for being a friend.
Travel down the road and back again. This is what Komi Can't Communicate is entirely about. Komi Can't Communicate is all about the journey for gaining friends and the social constructs that we presume and challenge and deal with.
As they like to remind you 3 times an episode.
Yeah, the fucking tagline, the intro is, just because people who have communication problems or social anxiety doesn't mean they don't want interaction. It just means they have a hard time getting it. Yeah.
Yeah. And
It's drilled into my brain.
I get it. I get it.
It's a PSA for don't be an asshole. Which is kind of reasonable.
Yeah, it seems like a reasonable request the first time. I'm just
for
being
the first
honest.
season.
By the 12th time I hear that, I'm ready to just be an asshole.
You're a new type, man. You're built different. But yeah, no, Komi Can't Communicate's all about this idea about Komi, this kind of ice queen that is misunderstood as being pretty, gorgeous, and smart, and doesn't talk to anyone because she's better than everyone else. All the while, she is all of those things, but coming from a different place. She doesn't talk to anybody because she doesn't have the practical skills for dealing with her social anxiety. And our boy Tadano is out here helping put in the work to have her grow in a social perspective. And that's really what season 2 focuses on. The continuation of her goal to get 100 friends by the graduation of high school. They're in year 1. Presumably there's 3 years worth of Japanese high school. And this season deals with the ending of year 1. The kind of final semester, rounding us out into summer as they do the end of year ceremony and hopefully move on. But we'll get into that. One thing I want to touch on, gentlemen, or actually, what do you got?
I'm going to be honest. I was surprised this was a season 2.
Well, it's a core 2, not a season 2.
Tell that to fucking Netflix, which we'll get to.
Well,
they're wrong.
That's the thing.
They are wrong.
No, that's the thing. Netflix just all has it as one thing, just all the way down. I watched all 24 episodes, just, which confused me at first because I could have swore we already done it.
We did the first half.
Okay, yeah.
First, 12, I think.
Yes, so
Yes.
First 12 episodes, and then this is the continuation of season 1, presumably, with another follow-up 12 episodes. Kai, can you briefly describe to me
Makes
what
sense.
the fuck is a core?
Okay.
COUR is the term.
Yeah, so what's this new fancy lingo young hip kids are saying?
What are you talking about, weeaboo?
Around 2018, chords got popularized with coming out instead of doing just 124 straight week episode broadcast, breaking it up into multiple chords over the year through different seasons of anime, kind of the pain of the animation studio, get more IPs out. And, we are going through the second core of Spy Family as we speak in this fall season, but other shows have done it multitude of times, but now we are in the second core, this podcast of Komi Can't Communicate, which is the second latter part of the 12 episodes of the first season. So it is one core of 2 cores, the second part. Netflix also had this problem with Eden Zero. They marketed it as season 2, tripped up a lot of people and also kind of messed up the whole like marketing of Eden Zero here in the West, which I'm mad about for so many reasons. Cause, like, do not mess up my Eden, or will come for you with a thing that they brand cows with. Put it on you, painfully.
A brand.
A brand.
Yes, a
Yes,
brand. Yes,
A
and the brand will
hot
be
iron.
CB on your throat. So, send for
No.
content.
Dude,
We left all of this stuff
If-
in October.
if
Oh,
you
yeah,
give
yeah.
them breathing problems, they're no use to you.
I
All
don't
right,
need them
also-
to talk. I need their pen,
Also want to briefly
writing utensil.
want to define what a core is. Typically, it's the span of episodes during the initial Japanese TV broadcast. One core typically runs for 3 months. Really deals with a quarterly broadcast schedule.
A
so
season
what
of
happens in a
anime.
specific quarter, which here's the issue with the term season. You just got mad that Netflix called Core 2 Season 2.
Not
But
season
yes,
as of the calendar, not of the season
Like-
of episodes, like fall, winter, summer, and spring. I forgot
Yeah,
the other two. Yeah.
So
Words are hard.
That's how
Yeah.
Japan
Honestly,
rolls their
yeah.
stuff out in 4 quarters, which are divided into it. Not to be confused with chronological seasons as of XYZ.
Yeah. All right. Now that we made that muddy as clear as mud, excuse me, let's get into Komi Can't Communicate Season 2. Now with this is Season 2 of one of the exciting new wave of Netflix exclusive anime. So this whole announcement came out earlier. How long has it been? Has it been a year, give or take,
It's
since
been-
Komi Season 1?
It's been about a year, I want to say. Yeah, a year. Season 1 aired. Or core 1 aired.
I thought it was earlier this year.
No, core
fall
1.
of 2020.
Yeah, October 7th of
2021.
2021. Yeah. that's when it
Wow.
aired. So yeah, it's been about a
Been-
year.
Dang.
OLM is
Huh.
the same studio that did Pokemon. Just gotta put that out there because that always fascinates.
Yeah, so this is coming out of OLM.
Any Gynax people working on it, or
Probably they're everywhere. They are. They are literally in. They're in God of War. One of the sound developers for Gynax did some stuff in God of War because I was looking at it and I was like, I should buy this. I was
I
like,
can't
what?
wait to play that game.
It's in my living room.
So, Komi Can't Communicate coming out in the first season coming out in the kind of fall of 2021.
Yes.
And it was part of this exciting new wave, which really focused on them getting Komi Can't Communicate, which was anticipated to get an anime. How are they going to do it? Very very dialogue and word heavy. We had discussed them relatively successfully doing season 1. Right, had a fun-ish time. Other shows we have seen in that same time frame get announced for next Netflix exclusivity was also like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 6 Stone Ocean. And I want to kind of Guy, you got an opinion and I want to hear it. I want to talk about the difference in the way that the Netflix business model of binge releasing is a positive or a negative, especially in a medium that is coming from a different culture of release, right? So Komi was a simulcast, and by simulcast, I mean it was releasing weekly with about a 2-week delay. I'm sure that the contract for the Japanese broadcast kind of required that. 2 weeks out, about 20 days, especially on the early side, between it airing in Japan and it being available on Netflix for the Western audience. How do we feel about Netflix's business model, and should they go one direction or another?
So personally, I have a lot of love and hate for Netflix. Love aspect comes from like us actually getting these things because I've seen a lot of things not happen. Netflix. One thing I'll say about Netflix, they'll greenlight almost anything nowadays. So it's like there is a high hope that if you want something, like there's like the even trade off of like it might get kind of butchered, but at least I'll get something. But there's like the rare occasions with Komi where it does come 2 weeks after and has a good rollout and everything's done pretty well. But then there's also the flip side, JoJo's Stone Ocean, which the momentum was severely murdered and castrated by the fact that like 12 episodes got released so sparsely away from each other, that it kind of died down. When we were getting Stone Ocean, when it got announced, everybody was so hype. Everybody and their mom was like JoJo Mania on Twitter. Then we're like, oh, we're only getting 12? And they waited almost a year to put out the second core of those. The second 12, and then by that time, like, no one even said anything when it came, and like we're getting the end of it here in December. I've seen no one talk about it. But on the other hand, Netflix goes and gives us Black Clover, the movie, streaming in March, and everybody and their mom is hype about it because it's like, yo, more Black Clover. Netflix came through. We don't have to go to the theater. We can just pop in our living rooms in March and watch this movie. So, and it looks pretty good, and then. But there's also the worry, it's like Black Clover coming back on Netflix. Like, are we going to have that problem again? So it's a very tedious time with Netflix because it's like you never know what you're going to get. Might get something. It's like my mom said when I was growing up, you're eating, don't complain. But it's like I want lasagna instead of squash. But at least I'm not hungry.
Kind of shocked you didn't mention like Seven Deadly Sins when Netflix acquired it and then gave it to one studio, and we all know how season 3 turned out.
Well, that wasn't Netflix's fault. So, like, that was more so A1 Pictures trying to drop it because the movie didn't do well. But who asked for the movie in the first place? So,
and I want to touch on that point specifically, right? So it has to do with Netflix's branding. Netflix's branding, especially when we were getting Seven Deadly Sins, was a Netflix exclusive anime. What does that actually mean? When it comes down to it, that really just means that they had the exclusive North American broadcasting rights. Their streaming rights, excuse me. That's all that meant. They didn't make it. All they did was license it, and they were the only ones. And they claimed that. That has changed as we move into shows like Komi Can't Communicate and JoJo's Part 6 Stone Ocean, for better or worse. And it's kind of that legacy and the way they continue to handle some shows successfully and some shows less so. That is the concerning part about what are they going to do to your favorite series or the series that piques your interest the most.
Okay, speaking as somebody who does not like keeping up with stuff weekly, likes to binge a couple episodes at a time for anything, that more or less fits with the Netflix model of how they do things. And I much prefer it when they're just like, hey, here's a handful of episodes at a time, instead of just waiting that ungodly foreseen amount of time for the next one. And yeah, I do agree, waiting over a year for just 12 episodes is a bit much, especially if it's being produced weekly somewhere else and broadcast weekly somewhere else. But in that same time, at that same time frame, I don't really care as long as it comes up in my feed and I actually get notifications that it's there when they're putting it up. I was still excited for Core 2 of JoJo's. I was still all about it. When something's put out weekly and I have to remind myself, oh yeah, that's there. There's been enough time, I can watch it now. I lose a lot of interest and I do not go back.
I want to temper that with some shows that really just hook your interest and you care about them, like the Bleach 1,000-Year Blood War arc. So glad to have something. Still mad at the fucking weekly Shonen storytelling style.
I'm here for it.
The fact that we have anything, I'm here for it.
And I want to follow it weekly. I don't want to wait because God knows we're going to get 900 episodes.
Wait, fuck yeah.
A couple of two back-to-back cores. But no, I feel you on some of the stuff that piques your interest, but it's not like
if I don't already have the interests that will carry me through the week to the next episode, I don't care. I'd much rather just have a bunch of stuff to just watch through, get a good foothold worth of an impression of it, and decide whether I want to watch the next season or not.
Yeah.
And I feel like that also depends on genre and what you're kind of like watching and enjoying. Like My Hero right now, like I feel like it's thriving because it is a week to week thing. So like the suspense of what's happening, like what is Shigaraki gonna do, like what is gonna happen, like why is Deku running and what is he here, and then being able to have those weekly discussions with the community. Like the same thing with Bleach. Like I'm still trying to figure out who was the red mark that cut down Komi, but I'm like, I can't wait to next week to figure that out. And also, just seeing everything that's happening. But there are some shows that I feel like, are binge worthy. For me, that's normally more so like sitcoms and things like that. But like, there's something about like that suspense that just makes me feel like so happy that I enjoy. And I feel like JoJo's is one of those series where it's like it thrives off being weekly, at least to me. Like that suspense.
Yeah, the momentum of the constant one-upping and plot twists to go through this and set the scene and have a bunch of action, and then to take a pause. Kai, you and I had talked about this before, where this breaking up of the plot of part 6, and this is not specifically a JoJo's podcast, so I'll keep it brief, feels different than the way that part 3, that Stardust Crusaders was handled. Because Stardust Crusaders was 2 separate seasons. We had the adventure to Egypt, and then we had the action in Egypt, where we actually fight Dio and his other cast of fuck boys, because it's a fucking shonen. Whereas the separation of part 3 into 3 separate cores that are spaced out in 3 separate releases feels weird. I think specifically the root of my concern is not whether it's bingeable or not. I appreciate both types of releases. I appreciate Netflix for its consistency in its business model and its commitment to that. It's there. Release the entire thing. Come to our platform to watch it. That's how they've made their money so far. I think my biggest hang-up is the transparency in that. And that's been my concern, because Netflix exclusive 7 Deadly Sins didn't make it, didn't produce it, didn't fund it, just licensed it. So now as we're into this new era where they are more actively involved in the production, well, what's to say that they're not just going to hit me with the same label and go back to the old model of just licensing it? I don't know, and that's my concern specifically. But with Komi Can't Communicate, we do get a season 2. And Netflix is actively involved. And while it did take a year, it did air in a reasonably simulcast way. It was, about 2 weeks out, airing weekly, releasing on Netflix.
I mean, for the most part, when a anime, even on Crunchyroll, is being dubbed around the same time, you'll get the subtitled Japanese episode the same day, but the simul quote-unquote dub for it is like two weeks to a month behind. So that's pretty typical. Just the fact that Netflix is waiting till the dub is already released and everything, so to put out the episode, yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I remember when it was the first couple of seasons of My Hero Academia, the simuldub would come out the same day. And then at some point in season 3, about halfway through, they said, we can't do this anymore. We're just gonna give us a couple weeks. And then recently they've just been like, it'll give us a couple weeks, it'll come out. We're not doing that anymore. I was like, wow, that was actually kind of cool. But
well, a lot of that came down to retakes and recalls and all that.
It'd be like One Piece, they forgot to do the dub, so it was like 12 years behind. They recently started outputting it out and like mass production because they're like, oh crap, I'm like, yeah, thanks.
I remember
thanks.
when
Because it's been going on forever.
yeah, no, well, like Toonami when it first came back on, I was there and I was like, oh wow, One Piece. Oh, I want to stay up and see what that is. Like, oh yeah, we're actually picking up where the other guys left off, but it's gonna be a little bit different this time. I'm like, what does that mean? It's like we got 12 years to catch up on.
Started
like,
at
oh,
Fishman
no.
Island.
No, didn't even
Alright.
start there. I don't. They started the Davy back fights. I think
Oh, geez.
All right.
it was right
Back
after Sky Island.
To
yeah.
Komi can't
Yes.
communicate.
What
It's
the
time to
podcast is
get-
about.
It's time
Yes.
to get into the plot. More more characters. More slice
Yeah.
of life shit. More relationship teasing. Let's get into
So
it.
much.
All right, characters. Tell me about your favorite character introduced this season.
Introduced this season.
All
There
right,
was
my favorite character introduced this season is the delinquent, like, bully guy that is
yes.
secretly just also freaking out.
Oh,
Yeah.
the basically male Komi
yes.
Yes.
has the whole
Male
crush
co-
on Tadano and everything.
Mato,
Yes.
Makako.
Sure.
Yeah.
The
He said
characters
he has a
have
crush
names.
on who?
Tadano.
I don't think he has a crush on Tadana. I think he's just
He
trying to
straight
be
up
like
gave
a
him
bro.
He straight up gave him chocolates on Valentine's Day. He may not, he may not actually have a crush on him, but the way he's acting and everything is like he has a crush on him.
I think that we, the show, are meta playing
yeah.
at stereotypes and cliches because we got to fill the runtime somehow and make it fun.
Yeah.
So insinuating a boy love situation is one approach to that, I suppose. But how he's like, the perception and the outward visualization of him is entirely different from the internal situation, and that only leads itself to comedy. But also with the two random students that don't have any kind of clout in class when they go on the adventure with Komi and like become relevant. Like the girl with the girl with glasses that's like the shogi master.
Toko?
Shogi,
Or
excuse me.
Hold
The shogi
Yeah,
master is like, hey,
on. Kato. Is
I
her name.
like this dude.
Sure.
He's got piercing eyes. And then there's like relationship drama with that. She gives him chocolates and he reciprocates. Like, okay,
Yeah.
I see you
He-
making me care about characters that are not
And
the
he's
main two.
entirely accidentally smooth with it. No wor-
It's so great. The whole
it's
field trip
interesting.
episodes were just so fun, and one of my favorite characters from that whole segment was definitely Sasaki, the yo-yo girl.
Oh yeah.
And the way she's finding out everybody's crush, and she's like, I'm totally gonna use this to my advantage and make sure these people get in their relationships.
You made the mistake of telling me your secrets.
Yeah. It was a more subtle, more focused Najimi move.
Like, I gotta talk about this. I fucking hate Najimi.
I love Najimi, man.
Najimi's my favorite. They are a total ball of chaos.
Help! I'm stuck. I got a cramp. I'm dying.
Just kidding.
You know, on my Kelz junk, my favorite character that got introduced from season 2, Kelz stuff, not junk. Sorry. On my Kelz vibe, like my favorite was like the bus announcer lady. Like no
Oh,
one
yeah.
The
would
tour
listen
guide.
to
The
him.
tour guide.
Like,
Oh my god.
and then like she was like, "Oh, those two are made for each other. This is why
Just
I
get
do
married
this."
already.
Oh my god. No, man, let me tell you. Okay. I've been in that position. I've been in a place where I'm just ranting in the general direction of these poor students, and I'm like, okay, clearly this is not the profession for me. They're just bored out of their skulls. And then I see the one sparkle of interest, and I'm like, this is why I went into this profession. All I have to do is make one student understand something, and I've achieved my goal to be a great bus tour, fucking whatever her job is.
Yeah.
I was like, gosh, this bus tour is really involved. It's not just a bus tour. She gives regular tours.
Well, that's the point.
He's
of
a
the bus
Sherpa,
tour.
man.
Something.
You
I was
know,
like,
without
she's
the
not.
deadly mountain.
But yes, I appreciate
Yes.
it. But no, and I love the way she's like, and she chases the two people who are like genuinely interested in what the fuck she's talking about, and she finds them like, she finds Komi and Tadano like fucking studying maps and appreciating architecture, and it's like, just fucking get married, man. Like even she's like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
Y'all. So fun. Oh, so much relationship teasing just all around. It's,
I wish I could remember her name.
Well, it is high school, so
yeah.
kind of fits.
So many relationships. Okay, you know what? Let's rearrange this.
Oh.
And by rearrange this, I mean we can integrate them all because it's all fucking the same relevance. Combining slice of life shit and more relationship teasing. So, what other relationships did they tease? One that comes to mind for me in the fan service category is I just fucking looked at character names before I went into this. It has to do with Komi, of course. We're
And
going
the
on the fan
narcissistic dude.
No, we're going on the fan service route, but I do want to come back to one scene with like the three dudes, with the ninja dude, the dude with the like the fucking rat tail.
Yeah.
I want to come back to them. But no, the redhead girl that's like, I am going to give I'm going to see up. I'm going to look at Komi's
All
boobs.
I want to do is see her boobs.
Oh.
I'm going to touch her boobs.
Ah, crazy
And,
chick. Ugh.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
that one.
Oh,
Well,
Lord.
we gotta-
Anasa? No.
Oh.
I'm at a loss.
The not. No.
Not Yando.
Is
Agari?
it not? No. So many
Yamai.
characters with
Red
names that
Yamai.
are
Yeah.
Yamai.
Yamai.
Yes, Yamai.
Crazy, dude.
I'm gonna be honest. I had to look up the English voice actors before I could figure it out.
Yes, Yamai. Yamai is fun in the fan service way, which this has a surprising amount of attempts at fan service. We're referencing fan service, and also we are just making just insinuative jokes. Like we
Like,
are
So many.
double
Like, that-
entendres,
That's her
innuendos.
entire character.
Here is
Just
here's
out
a
the
chocolate
ass.
lollipop that I made out of my own. Like it looks like me, but naked. Lick any
Oh my
part
God,
of it
no.
you want,
No,
please.
no, man. We
Komi,
start
you
with-
have a hole in your tights.
I must get
Take 'em off.
closer.
okay.
She got pretty Roshi on that one.
with the fucking crab walk to fucking look. Oh my god,
And then she stole
So-
the tights. Like at the end,
man! I want to touch on this. That's when the Sakuga happened in Komi. Okay, fuck all the relationship drama. The animation went off when we needed her to crab walk like a fucking monster up to Komi's tights, just inches away from the ass, just like. Anyways, yeah. Ren Yamai was fun with the fan service aspect and the way it was always denied, especially in the bath. In the bath where it's like, Komi, you're gonna be naked, and Yamai's like, Komi, can I touch your boobs? And they're like, and it's like, there was not a hint of malice or ill intent in her. She was purified by the looks of Komi.
I just have a simple request. Can I squeeze?
And then she's like, no.
It's like, oh,
I'm like, okay, thank God we didn't go this direction. I have High School DxD for this shit.
And
That's
Chainsaw
fair.
Man.
And Chainsaw Man.
Yeah.
Well, yes, Chainsaw Man. But I appreciate that they're teasing at it and also not going that direction. Keeps it interesting, I suppose. Now with that the whole relationship drama, one more thing I want to touch on is I had fun with the whole we have girl talk and we have boy talk and the whole the three dudes in the back of the classroom fantasizing about, okay, what would it be like to have this classmate as a girlfriend or that classmate as a girlfriend. That was fun to get an example and then touch base on some of the other characters and have this relatable thing. I enjoyed the ninja dude having a period fantasy where he's just some farmer in a bodunk country, and also like touching base with the girl who's also from the countryside but wants to hide her origin so she's not discriminated upon. Yeah.
I was like, yes, I ship it. Let's go.
Yeah, but he's like, I recognize it. She's just a girl from the neighboring rice paddy, and I want to enjoy life. That was kind of fun. And then Komi walks in, and they disperse.
We can't
And they're
imagine
like,
a day with
no
Komi.
more of
She's
this.
too perfect.
Well,
And then
one, they freak
Tadano.
out. They freak out with Komi because they're like, I can't imagine it more than a period fantasy. But also when she actually walks in the room, they go their separate ways, and it's fantasy
All right,
talk can only
it's
happen
over.
in the company of boys. Yeah,
I loved how Tadano actually had a fantasy about her, and it was just so wholesome.
it was slice of life shit, man. No,
Like-
Komi, you cook dinner. You don't have to wash the dishes. And then she does. And then she leans on him while they're doing it. How fucking Japanese can you get, man?
I mean,
I
how
love
just
it.
I'm not even Japanese, and that sounds fucking incredible right now. Let's do chores and love each other. Anyway,
Chores. Yeah, we should do those.
but yeah, and then are we still talking about relationships, or have we moved on?
If you've got anything to touch on with relationships, let's touch on it now.
I really
we'll wrap with Komi and fucking Tadano. That's the whole root of the season. So we'll wrap
Okay.
with that.
I really-
but continue with whatever you got.
I really liked how Shoji girl, Shoji, the game, the girl's like, I'm an extra, she's Shoji player. Is there anyone you liked? And then is Mikado. And she's just getting set up by Yo-Yo girl. And she's like,
Man, the twofer where it's Tadano, Komi's asleep in the train seat. Come sit by her. And then she because it was a double team. It was a double team. Both of the random friends that Komi made on this trip were like, yeah, we gonna spring it on her.
It's they totally
Not-
know.
Yeah, we
Not
found a
knowing,
matchmaker.
not knowing she was gonna get sprung on herself when it's okay, well, how do we fill the seat that's left open by Tadano? I heard you like this man. Have a seat.
I
I love
was
it.
You
like,
can't be
it's
standing up on a moving train. That's dangerous. Here, sit down.
it's the Catalina wine. I love that, and I also really liked the not in the relationship, like romantic relationship, but the relationship between Mikado and Komi, how he sees her as his master,
Mentor,
and she's
yeah.
just terrified of him, and Tabano's I don't know what the hell is going on. He's just
Oh my
here.
God.
Funniest thing about that part was when he looks out the window, I think it's after it's Valentine's Day, and he's like, "Thank you, mentor." Or no, he drops off. It's White Day, and he drops off the gift to the one girl, and he just looks at the window like, "Thank you, mentor," or something like that. And Komi's just in his imagination,
No,
just a thumbs
so-
up from Komi.
So
That's
it
the
was.
best.
He was having trouble deciding because he had bought. It was Valentine's Day. He had bought Tadano some chocolates. He was having trouble making the decision whether he should give Tadano the chocolates or not.
Okay.
He looks out the window and sees his comprehension of Komi being like, "Do it." He's like, "That's the push I needed," and then he goes through with it.
I was like, I remember that
but-
scene. I don't
Yes,
remember where it was.
but yes,
But yes.
To have some perceived Komi that is not actually reality, just be this fucking guy's mentor is hilarious.
Yeah, and I love how he gave Kato some chocolates. like the girl with the glass he like gave her. He's like,
Yep.
just like it,
drops it.
Slides and then walks away.
Yeah, love it. All right, let's keep it moving. It's less life shit. We touched on some of it. They go on an adventure. They go on a field trip. They go talk outside of school. It's fun. Let's touch on this. How well do you think season 2 followed up on season 1?
I literally thought they were the same thing. For the longest time, I did not
How did
realize
you
there was a break.
How did you feel that the second half of the show went? Okay, how
I
about
feel
that?
like it went good. I feel, man, I don't want to say which one is stronger because I look at it overall as a whole, but I felt like it was very cohesive. Outro and intro were bangers as well. I really liked the progression that I felt of the characters. I felt like even in the short time, like the characters had progressed and that we got to see more sides of them, more sides of Komi. And I also really liked how the whole it's been a year thing in the last episode, like how it addresses that and just kind of like how times change and like we've seen development in characters that you wouldn't really notice as it's happening, but you look back and you're like, holy crap, like Tadano is like actually valuing himself instead of just like being, self-loathing, and Komi's actually out here trying, she can order things, and homegirl or home person is still like destructive, but and then we got pink haired girl who is still having delusions of competing with herself, and
Yeah.
like it felt good, and I really liked the cast of characters. I felt like the plot points. I was not expecting a school trip so soon, though, because normally that happens, as we saw in Fruits Baskets, happens in the last season, or we saw in like Kaguya-sama, like normally with romance animes and stuff like that, the school trip is like one of the last things to happen, or like in like the second or third season, never really in the first. But I'm like, oh wow, they did it first season, got it.
I think and this is kind of the person who, I don't know their name, but who wrote Komi as a whole, the setting itself, the eccentric school where really eccentric people go to, and they all have wild, crazy personalities or interests or whatever, hobbies. I think that lends very well to just all the characters being memorable. I believe, like, you get the one ninja guy, like, you may not remember their names, but you know them because either they have like a really big ego, they can't communicate, they're just
They have
hyper
an
focus
interesting
on
silhouette.
yeah.
You'd still know nothing of Night Girl, and I know she exists.
Oh my
There's
god.
a random girl in night armor.
All right, I have to ask you this question. Is Komi Can't Communicate the my hero of Slice of Life?
I'm gonna need you to further explain that.
I think just with
It
memorable characters.
It follows Strange's exact point. We have a whole cast of interesting, unique characters that are visually notable, and we tell a story about a central character, plus or minus one or two. And the entire cast is relevant, except instead of it being an action superhero shonen, it's a slice of life.
I would say
I can
probably,
see it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Since the overall goal is 100 friends, and I feel like we're gonna get to know 100 characters.
Fucking how big is UA,
please,
man?
Well, you got about 20 students in class, and you
Don't
And
hit
40
me with the
times the
formula,
three
my guy.
grades,
Just
40
stop.
You carry the one.
Hey, don't forget them teachers.
at least 120, not counting faculty. If we only say each class has a class A and class B. We know that's not true. Class C.
Then why even say it? But anyways, yes, I appreciate your diligence. Stop counting. Anyways, that is my argument that Komi Can't Communicate is the my hero of Slice of Life. Now
see it.
that comes down to the central A plot about Komi and Tadano. Let's talk about the fun and adventure that happens between the two in season 2. You still counting?
I count 201 UA people at once.
Fuck, are they
Original heroes.
Dalmatians?
No, because you got to think the 3 classes, and then each has 20 times 3. So that's 180 right there. And then plus the faculty that we've seen was 10 for the provisions, but also having the other classes that count the.
Okay. I want to ask you with your fucking math degree here.
Yes.
How many friends have we gathered so far, and how much time do we have left to
I think
gather more?
20, and we have 2. So like, where are we on the page? Page has 20 lines. We were halfway through it.
I think last I saw it said we were 73 away from getting the 100.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know either, man. But
So 27.
It's like 30 friends and 3 layers left.
Yeah.
So we could probably do
We're
it.
making good
Oh,
progress.
definitely.
To be fair, that's like only half our class.
Yes. She
Well, we've
hasn't
met
gone
people outside of her class too, because we competitive red-haired girl, who was like a second year, I believe, or just in a different class.
Something like that, but not. I don't think any of them have signed the book. And
The
that's
redhead
what-
girl did.
And that's
who
what
raced
they're
her.
going off of.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about Komi and Tadano, and then let's round it out.
Yes.
Mm.
Okay. So
Gonna fuck.
Win though, win.
hopefully,
Last
I don't know,
year,
it's that kind of slice of life.
after graduation, probably.
I don't know, man. These animes be getting wild, and that's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna tell you what happens. Animes be getting wild now.
I mean, Chainsaw Man was wild from the beginning, but
Yeah, Chainsaw Man.
Good.
Ain't nothing too crazy that happened.
I mean, I know, but
Bro,
Which
I
one?
saw an eyeball in Bleach, so yeah, this is the age. We just
I saw
we
someone's
doing
throat
whatever
get
we
ripped
can,
out.
man.
He
Yeah.
talked.
I saw
so
that too.
I-
I haven't even watched it.
I fucking
He
love
said
that.
something to
That
me,
guy
so I
was
just
big
ripped
and roared, so
his
I killed
throat.
him. That guy talked a lot, so I ripped out his throat.
Great. Oh yeah, Komi. So sorry to the disrespect of Komi. Yeah, this podcast. It's great and I love it. I promise. But Komi and Tadano, man, like I think my favorite episode was it was the ones where their relationship was the vocal point. So either the fever episode where he called her by accident and then she showed up and he took care of her and he was like, "What?" And then the episode where she was trying to give him the chocolate, and I felt that vibe. I have been there, man. When you have cared about this girl, and she's giving everybody else Valentine's Day stuff, and you ain't getting it, and you're like, what? Then she drives to your house at night and was like, "This is for you," and I'm like, wow, that exact same scenario happened to me. Anyway,
Wow.
I'm praying for Tadano if it's the same exact. Like she ain't
Root
worth
for you,
it.
man. Go for
Why
it.
didn't she give it to you in public? That's all I'm at.
True.
Anyway,
Anyway. But yeah, so that was a whole thing, and then him trying to give the stuff back on White Day was also I really enjoyed it, and like
The fucking
Man,
dad.
Yeah. So yeah, he's
Hilarious.
rolling in. He's tried to give it to her. Well, White Day doesn't fall on a school day. He doesn't give it to her on Friday when everyone's around. He's like, well, fuck, I didn't give it to her early. It's Saturday. I've got to do it. So he goes all the way for the fucking Komi house. He's like, hey, is Komi here? And they're like, which one? Well, this motherfucker. All right. And then the mom comes out. And the mom's like, oh, Tadano. She's out.
Oh, so I don't know. Why
And
don't
Todd
you come on in?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Tadano's like, all right, yeah, I'll come back in a bit. She's like, no, Tadano, come in and make yourself at home. They put her in. They put him in her room. Motherfucking dad comes in, sitting here, with the same vibe, just taking a sip of the tea. Komi runs in, pushes dad out, sits the fuck down, cleans up the clutter of the room. Tadano doesn't want to know what the fuck's going on. He's out here sipping dad's tea because it's the only thing around to give him some
Yeah, he
distraction
said-
in the situation.
He know he's nervous. He says.
But even the deeper context of this, right? He's like, here's this gift, and in this gift, it's got a piece of candy. Because earlier we see this whole thing where what you give a person on White Day communicates something specific, which makes the decision even that much more harder. And he's like, I gave her candy. I told her in a very Japanese subtext subtle way that I think we should be a thing, or I have romantic feelings for her. And it's like, oh shit, man. That's what I've been waiting for.
Yeah, no, I love that experience. And just like the whole like comedy and the aspect and like Komi just like looking at it and this her like not knowing how to process things but also being grateful. That's what I love the most is like the way that Komi, the overall production, can communicate without just words. I always feel like that's such a vibe when you communicate with facial expressions, animation changes, and stuff like that. That is such like something that I really enjoy.
Yeah, if only they actually just left that there. Fucking narrator. Only complaint about this show, the narrator.
The narrator's funny, man.
This is where the narrator rolls in, and it's like, oh man, what a reaction! What an uncertain but excited reaction, and that's when the narrator rolls in. Just because people with social anxiety cannot connect with people doesn't mean they don't want connections.
Yeah.
It's like,
or they just give you something.
I don't mind her.
Or
so
they just
much.
give you something dumb like he was clearly nervous and everything. She looks over at him and he has the book upside down. It's just like narrator has to point out every little detail.
Well, all right.
It's like when you explain a joke.
The opposite side here. I'm fucking reading this shit. It helps that when I read the narrator describe that I then have a cue to look up and appreciate that note.
I agree with this because it is sometimes it goes like so fast, like you wouldn't have been able to notice it. And then I will get back to the school trip when they're like, just give us the first letter of his name. And she writes an H, and he's like, it definitely was an H.
Man.
I was laughing. I was like, yes, it is. Yes.
What a suspenseful moment, because they're like everybody knows it's Tadano. Everybody knows it's Hito Tadano.
Nini was the first. Nini best girl.
But what happens if she writes a letter that's not H? What the fuck does that mean for the rest of the series? Thank God it wasn't.
Means we ride out in the streets.
But the suspense, man, the suspense was kind of interesting.
It means there's some drama I'm in for.
I've been waiting for this shit. I don't want this to go like my life. I want this to be a fun conversation. You know,
Kel's just like, let me have my escapism.
Yeah, you know, tell me the good storyline, like.
But like I don't mind the narrator, and I really don't mind like other words that kind of pop up on screen, just because it's like there are subtle like thoughts that these characters have, or because in the manga they do that where it's like it's just dead silence, and then it's like here's what they're actually thinking, or it's like nervous, or focused,
that
like,
works great. Yeah, that works great in a manga because sometimes you need that little extra bit to help you understand what the scene is, because you literally just have a picture in your brain to figure out what it is. With the animation and everything, you can just add a little bit of a sound effect, add a little bit more frames where you just see like the keys or something. You don't have to be like, she was just trying to return the keys while the guy's running down the street.
I can appreciate that concept. I'm in the same boat as Strange here. Specifically with the art direction that the original writer of Komi is presenting here, right? We are using words and other things to communicate the subtext that the character lacks the ability to, right? So we're filling in the blanks by, and we have to do that because we are not getting any kind of dialogue or real action from the character, right? And the question is that interesting, right? That's the design choice that the author has made and is being translated into a visual medium. But is that interesting from start to finish? Which I can appreciate your point from that.
Yeah.
For me, it's funny as a well animated nerd person. Hi.
Thank you.
Because Komi we're getting our red strings out. Because Komi has the same voice actor as Kaguya from Kaguya-sama Love is War. And that show also has very heavy narrative, like the announcer narrates everything and drive it forward. It's like very much more so a comedy, like in the same comedic aspect. It's voiced by like a deep voiced Japanese male. So finding like the comparisons between these two is so interesting to me. And I'm like, yo, I felt like that was really interesting. And I wonder, since Kaguya-sama was like produced first, if that like narration aspect like was brought to the attention from the voice actor. Like I'm very curious, like just how that all like flowed together.
That is interesting.
I wish I had heard it. My whole thing just fucked up for a minute. It's like everything robotic and just like skipped every fifth word.
I'm just curious about your decision on character choice there, because why did you choose Kaguya-sama Love is War as a connection to this voice actress to draw a parallel, and not necessarily Roka, Braves of the Six Flowers, with her role as woman?
That's why. Because I'm like, probably because Kaguya-sama is fire, flame, gas, exclamation point. And
Okay.
woman is very vague and broad. I don't know exactly what that tells of.
Okay. Then how about this other role, that Aoi Koga performed? She played in the show Owari Monogatari.
Oh, yeah,
You and
yeah.
I should know this. She played his classmate.
Oh, well, you see? There we go. I was like, oh, yeah. Sagawa or Kitten Girl. Yeah, let's go.
No, just
Sacagawea.
unnamed classmate.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that a relevant connection? Because it's Komi. It's about school. Yeah. But no, I appreciate your connective thematically.
And, like, the last thing I wanted to say is, like, the fact that we ended season 1 or core 1 or whatever at this point of them filming, like, something, and what they were filming was the intro for season 2 was fire. Like, that was absolutely, like, I love the intro this season. That anyway, just the production on the intro and the outro for both of them were like great, and both of the songs ring through my playlist. I love them so much. I love like the whole thing of everybody leaving the classroom in the outro, and then like Tadano comes back for it. I'm just like, yo, this is you only get this in Slice of Life, man. Well, that's not true. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean,
It's
no.
You
more the
only get
focus.
this in
Slice of Life
and slice of life inspired anime.
Yes.
Like my
Naruto and Black Clover.
Oh yeah, those are two. Yeah.
Those intros and outros are some bangers. We can't lie. And My Hero Academia. The new intro is clean with the comic book like style of everything.
Fucking intros.
And Mirko's thighs will save the world. I put that on Twitter the other.
Truest thing you've said all night.
Komi can't communicate season 2. It's been fun. Gentlemen, other final thoughts?
Good slice of life. Probably maybe be a contender in slice of life anime of the year. I don't see it being a contender in anime of the year. Now that we're winding down, I feel like we should talk about it. Maybe we'll do something. Maybe I'll do something. We'll see.
Yes, somebody of us four, to varying degrees of involvement, should do something.
Yes.
I want to ask you one final thing.
Yes.
The goal that Komi has is to reach 100 friends by the time she graduates. Do you think that she will achieve this goal?
I think that she very well might, but I could also see it being that type of ending where she doesn't. And that's okay. And like, it's the quality, not the quantity.
At least no one fucking dies in that slice of life ending. I like it. There's no notes.
Yes. Jesus.
Gentlemen, how do you feel about that idea? Do you think she will make it to the titular number of 100?
Hard to say.
It's a happy enough.
I'm honestly, I don't even care how many friends she gets at the end. I'm just along for the ride. I just kind of enjoyed the series for what it is. It makes me laugh out loud, very much so, and it's. I like it for that reason. It's just funny to me. Like the comedy, like the characters are all enjoyable. I guess we'll just see. I'm just along for the ride.
Okay.
Very well spoken.
It's a happy enough show that I do expect her to meet the goal and everything. I'm gonna be honest. If outside, I don't regret watching this season. This show was good. Slice of life ain't really my thing, so I probably won't pick it up if it continues, unless we come back and cover it here. Which, knowing Kai, we're probably gonna have to.
I didn't even put this on the list.
Yes. But if personally, I would find it super interesting if she doesn't. I would love it if they start adding more adventurous things, but the overall goal fails. And she can't do it by the time she has to say goodbye to all of these friends. And she essentially has to start over at a new stage in her life, maybe bringing one or two people from this era with her.
As long as Tadano is one of them.
About to say, a follow-up question. Do you want to see Tadano be number 1 at the end of this? No matter what happens with the rest of them?
Yes.
Does
No
he
matter
still
what
be number 1? Because
110%.
Okay.
I am for this ship, and you know what?
What?
Well, I'm ready for the next season because apparently there's a chance that everybody could be split up, and I went, oh no, no,
Yeah, man.
everybody's gonna be separated. It's gonna be so sad.
my fear is not that they don't get together. My fear is that they get together and they break up by graduation. It's like,
That'd
what
be
the fuck
trash.
is that going
I
on?
would-
This is
I
some
would-
slice of life bullshit, man.
I want them to go to different colleges.
I feel I would be so hurt and destroyed. And
some
I'll be like, I will never
fate
touch another
shit.
slice of life ever again as long as I live.
They have to go to different colleges on 2 separate sides of the country.
Fool me once.
I feel like that I would want them. He finally reaches 100 friends, and she's like, Tadano, I failed. He's like, what do you mean? I only have 99 friends and 1 boyfriend. Oh! That probably won't happen.
That would be so fucking cute. I'm so angry at it.
I should write Slice of Life.
He's like, that would be so cute. It'd be so bad.
All right. It sounds like we had a good time with Komi Can't Communicate.
Oh, I loved it.
and
was great.
Komi Can't Communicate. Core 2, Season
Core
2.
2.
Whatever the fuck your translation of this is. It's been great so far. OLM putting in work in a way that is different and also the same shit as Pokemon, as Kai had mentioned previously, which means they have a history of doing great things, and Komi Can't Communicate follows in that lineage of great things. I look forward personally to seeing more. I don't know where we're gonna go other than, oh my god, it's year number 2. Maybe people are in different classrooms, which we made a friend of everyone in this classroom. Like, how are we going to get to 100 if we've already met the first 27 that only stay in the same room, right? So we got to have that mixing. We got to have that churn. We have to have the opportunity to continue the story for at least 2 more years based on the manga. But either way it goes, I know that when the next core comes out, I will enjoy it. No matter when I watch it, whether it's as it's airing, whether it's when we get around to it, it's going to be a good time either way. And I'm glad we spent the time together. Like a fucking slice of life.
Aw.
You can catch us being so endearing to each other on other episodes here on Content Breaker. We're on your podcatchers, talking Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Podcasts, and YouTube if you prefer a video at Content Breaker, or Twitter, Instagram as well. Content Breaker. Gentlemen, you have things too.
Yes, you can find me at Static Dreads with a Z on Twitter, where Elon will not be receiving dollars, so I will never have a check mark. Don't know what you said, but yeah.
All right,
What you
and you can-
say?
You can find me, just look for Strangely
That's the
Entertaining
only
on
way.
YouTube or Twitch. That's where I'll be at. I do try to stream Tuesdays, 9 o'clock Central Time.
Riveting. Of course, catch the other product at your typical Shonen Protagonist for more anime needs. Zog,
No,
there's a planning document,
there is.
and we haven't divvied from it yet. What does next week say?
Well, it says we are the bone of our sword. We're doing
Oh, that could
unlimited
only
blade
be
works.
one.
We're doing unlimited blade works.
That
Fate.
could only be one thing.
Stay night. I'm
Hopefully
so mad.
this one isn't a slog. Yay.
I'm so mad that this shit's on fucking Crunchyroll is like Fate Stay Night and not Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. I might have to, excuse me, actually. But no, like I'm sitting here
Crunchyroll.
looking for this shit. I know that Studio Dean is obscure and not available and also made in 2006. But like, clarify, motherfucker. This is your job, Crunchyroll.
There are
Next
two
week we're
of these.
doing. Next week we're doing Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works on Concept.